On your website, you talk about all these progressive policies, and you know, I'm pretty much aligned with you on all the issues you bring up. But then you bring up the Democratic Party and how you've been a lifelong Democrat, and you mentioned that you fought for every presidential candidate on the Democratic side. So I got to ask, does that include this past one? And if so, did you kind of see any conflicts there?
Well, I did. After Clinton got the nomination, I did work for her election. And the reason I did that was, unlike a lot of my progressive friends, I definitely saw a difference between her and what we have now, especially in the area of judicial appointments. You know, if she had been elected, she may not have been able to get her Supreme Court nominee through the Senate, but we would not have Neil Gorsuch. So that was an area where I differ with others. And I also felt that when all was said and done after the convention, the platform, you know, was largely Bernie's. So I may be a little bit more practical than others, but that was the way I went after the nomination.
Okay, and you didn't see, I mean, because all the issues you bring up, I mean, she's kind of, Hillary Clinton was on the other side of those. I mean, especially money in politics.
Sure. No, again,
that she's against
sure.
Single payer. She's anti-frack, or she's pro-fracking, excuse me. She is against living wages. So, I mean, you said that her platform is close to Bernie's. I heard a lot of people say that, and I know there's a couple fluff press releases that were released that kind of point to that. But I kind of think that's not true. In what way is that true?
Well, the official platform, the Democratic platform, was heavily influenced by Bernie. And again, the main reason that I did what I did was more for the judicial, because that is the power they have to select Supreme Court judges. And I felt that that was a very major thing, because those judges impact us for decades. And I'd rather have a Democrat picking judges than Trump.
I understand that, and I don't disagree with you, but I mean, morally, did you feel that our arm was kind of twisted? I mean, this is one of those situations where, I mean, Obama, instead of fighting for a pick that was rightfully his, instead of doing that,
right,
he was a cheerleader for the TPP. That was all he did. And while people in DAPL were getting their heads cracked open, he said, we're going to let it play out. I mean, his last couple months in office were nothing short of disgusting. You don't have to agree with me. I know you have to be more diplomatic than I do. But his last few months in office were embarrassing and absolutely disgusting. And I really had to look in the mirror and say, I voted for this guy twice, and now I'm questioning that. And I questioned it plenty of times before. But I feel like this incrementalism, when you go the lesser, let's just settle for the lesser of two evils here. When you do that, that guarantees Trump's indefinitely. What I mean by that is you're going to get a centrist that offers nothing, or a right-wing demagogue, and you're pretty much guaranteeing a right-wing demagogue every 4 to 8 years. That's why eventually we have to put our foot down and say, enough is enough with the incrementalism, because it has failed, and it has failed miserably, and the only people winning in this scenario are the donors. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. And again, I'm separating out the judicial appointments from the other legislation, the other stands, because again, these are things that hang around our necks for decades. Was it a perfect scenario? Not even close. But that was the decision I made based on judicial appointments.
All right. All right. So who were you for in the primary? Were you a Bernie guy?
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to some questions. Let's see here. Somebody complimented my Rick and Morty shirt. Thank you very much. What would you do to end daylight savings? And for voting third party, I know you've asked this question a couple times, and I don't understand the conflict directly. I know there is one because other people have brought it up.
By the way, can I back up 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
You asked, just to be totally truthful, and obviously my votes are private, don't have to say this. By the time I supported Bernie, by the time the primary came around, and it was obvious that Hillary was going to get the nomination, again, this is about the judicial, and I wanted her to beat Trump. I wanted her to come out of California with as big a head of steam as possible. So I did vote for her in the primary. There, I said it.
So you actually weren't truthful with me. You said you were for Bernie.
I was. That's why I went back to clarify.
But you did not vote for him.
I did not.
Okay, so you never voted for Bernie. You voted for Hillary. You were Hillary all the way.
Well, I wouldn't say all the way. I favored Bernie. I would have rather.
All right. Well, I appreciate your honesty. In the future, if someone says, were you for Bernie in the primary, the correct answer is no. Just so you know, I'm not trying to pick on you. It's just that's the honest.
That's why I clarified.
I appreciate that. I appreciate your honesty. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.